be over any city, over any state, it's an invasion of our airspace. In focus now, Republican Congressman Jeff Van Drew of New Jersey, member of the House Judiciary Committee on the Hill right now. How do you address this at this point?
Well, here's the real deal, Harris. You know, I'm also on the Transportation Committee, on the Aviation Subcommittee, and I've gotten to know people. And from very high sources, very qualified sources, very responsible sources, I'm going to tell you the real deal. Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones. That mothership is off, I'm going to tell you the deal. It's off the east coast of the United States of America. They've launched drones. It's everything that we can see or hear. And again, these are from high sources. I don't say this lightly.
Right, welcome to the Cosmic Busker. My name's Bobby Codey. That clip you just saw was from Fox News interview that ran on Wednesday, December 11th. That would have been yesterday from when I'm recording this. It was Representative Van Drew claiming that an Iranian mothership was releasing all these New Jersey drones that have been seen all over New Jersey. If you're not aware, I'll tell you, it's almost certainly wrong. When I first heard that, I listened. I'm like, all right, I kind of ran that through my brain. I said, there's no way. Not possible. Iran doesn't have the waterborne vessels that could avoid our sonar or radar and stay out there for a month and avoid our Navy or Coast Guard. I knew that it was just not true. But I wanted to show that as an example of all the false information that's coming out. And we're going to have to evaluate all that information and try to get a big picture on what is going on. And that's what I'm going to do in this right now. I want this to be, what you're watching right now, this video, is going to be a definitive guide. If you want to understand what's really going on here, watch this video through completion, because that's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you a really big, long, big picture on this. I'm from New Jersey, number one. Number two, I've been studying the UFO subject for about 50 years now, going on 50 years. I'm older than I look. So, you know, I have a lot of experience with this, and I'm going to give you the laydown on the whole subject, and in particular what's going on right now in the past month with all these UFOs, drones, UAPs, whatever you want to call them. I want to cut now one more, before we move on to analyzing everything, I want to cut to one more clip of a New Jersey politician. The previous one was New Jersey Representative Jeff Van Drew. This one is Governor Murphy. This is an interview with Governor Murphy. I just want to go real quick to this clip, give you a sense of something that he said, and I want you to take that into consideration as we move along and analyze all these UFOs.
Why is it so hard to get answers? These are apparently very, as I understand it, very sophisticated. The minute you get eyes on them, they go dark. And, you know, we're obviously most concerned about sensitive targets and sensitive critical infrastructure.
All right, so there we have the governor of New Jersey saying that as soon as you get eyes on them, they go dark and disappear. Obviously, he's not talking about physical eyes or people looking at it and it disappears. Otherwise, we wouldn't know they're there. He's talking about the military. You know, when they do the radar and their sights and they try to see these things, as soon as they approach it, get an eye on it, things go dark and disappear. So you can't shoot down what either isn't there or you can't see. Now, it could be either or. They could go dark in the sense that they're able to, avoid detection from the military sensors, or they literally aren't there. We'll talk about that. I mean, that goes into either they're so fast, which doesn't appear to be the case, or maybe they're transdimensional, perhaps. That we live in a world where there's parallel universes, other things going on around us. DMT practitioners would be familiar with that type of thesis on the reality. Regardless, these things are able to defeat our military censors, according to Governor Murphy. So that's significant too, very significant. And just to get a sense of, how, people say, oh, the government's lying, the government's hiding this. It's not just the government, big government, one government. You have a whole bunch of governments. You have local, you have federal, you have your county, you have your state government, you have a whole bunch of different departments, all with their own agendas. So there's not just one government, there's a whole bunch of governments, really, when you say that. So, and as an example of that, we're going to take a look at the chief of police of Florham Park, I believe the town is. That's Florham Park, New Jersey. It's not far from where I am right now and from where I grew up. So I'm fairly familiar with Florham Park. And this police chief put out a warning. He wanted to, and God bless him, I think this is the important thing to do, give the information you have and share it with the community. I think that's a very important thing for a public service professional or politician to go do. So let's take a look right now. We're going to move on and see. I want everybody to see the full breadth of what he said, because we have to put this into context. He's not lying. Other people in other government departments may be lying to him, but I'm fully convinced that chief of police here from Florham Park is being authentic. So let's take a look right now. We'll move on to that. All right, this is from Police Chief Joseph Orlando from Florham Park. In order to fit this in, I had to cut off his head. My apologies to him. We'll give him a little FaceTime there. There he is. All right, now I'll pull it back up and let's see what it says. It says, real quick, you may have observed or become aware of the various reported drone sightings in the airspace above Morris County. In recent weeks, Morris County law enforcement, in conjunction with our state and federal partners, have been attempting to determine the launch point and landing location of these drones, as well as the people or entities responsible for their presence in our airspace. Notice entities. Several drone sightings have been reported above critical infrastructure such as water reservoirs, electrical transmission lines, rail stations, police departments, and military installations. Members of the local law enforcement community have been pressuring our partners for answers regarding the activity as their presence around our critical infrastructure is concerning. While we currently have no evidence or information to indicate these drones pose an imminent threat at this time, their presence appears nefarious in nature. We are making sure that we're asking that all residents be vigilant and report any drone sightings directly to the FBI at the phone number or small tip lines listed below. Photographs and video are specifically requested and can be uploaded to the email address tip line. How often do you hear the government actually asking you for UFO videos instead of telling you to go to a mental institution instead? The sightings have been occurring nightly for the past 2 weeks, beginning just after sunset and lasting well into the early morning hours. Please be mindful that not all low-flying aircraft and drone above the Morris are drones, as we have Morris County Municipal Airport there. People are saying, let's shoot them down. People are going to, first of all, individuals start trying that, they're going to start shooting planes. People are going to mistake things as drones. That's why you don't want to do that. People also ask, why isn't the military shooting them down? Well, people don't realize if you shoot at something and you miss it, that bullet or that missile has to go somewhere. And it could end up hurting innocent people. So you have to be very careful. You can't just start shooting randomly over residential areas. You're going to be causing more damage yourselves than these drones have done. I mean, you have to take that into consideration. All right, so give credit where credit's due. He's doing a good job. And I just want to show you again how frustrating it can be for local officials. We're going to take a look at the federal government, I believe this is, or the military, called this big meeting for all the politicians in New Jersey to come. We got information for you. Let's see what happened. This is Assemblyman Brian Bergen is his name. He talks about driving for 4 hours round trip for this meeting, and what happened.
You're here today. You were just inside. You walked out. Why?
I walked out because it was worthless. It was the biggest amateur hour presentation I've ever seen about anything. Okay, it was ridiculous. There were no answers. Every question that was asked by a member of the state legislature, great questions, no answers, no resolution. They don't know where the drones are coming from. They don't know who's doing it. They don't know why they're doing it. But they say there's no credible threat. It was annoying to be there. I drove 2 hours to be here today. Spent an hour in there. I got to drive 2 hours back. The biggest waste of 5 hours in my entire life.
So why do you think they called this meeting?
No idea. Why would you call a meeting to tell people you don't know anything? I have no idea. And then when the legislators would ask questions, there were no answers. Here's the most frustrating part. The colonel of the state police said that he had a helicopter of his flying over above one of these drones, a 6-foot drone or something. I can't remember exactly what he said. And he felt unsafe for his helicopter, so he just let it go. Just let it go. But where'd it go? Who knows? Didn't want to follow it because you didn't feel safe. Is that not the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard? I mean, honestly.
Do they have any? Do they have any idea where these drones are originating?
No, they don't. They would. Maybe if they followed that sucker to when it landed, they would know. But they don't. This is a complete lack of effort, in my opinion, on trying to figure this out. This is not about ability. We have the technology. We have the people. We have the training. We have the resources. We have the money. It's just a lack of effort. I mean, why? I don't know. They should be saying, you know what they should have done today with productive use of our time if they didn't know anything? Come in there and say, hey, legislators, we don't know anything. But if you get us these 10 things, do these 10 things for us, and the governor calls in this kind of action, we can figure it out. Will you help us? And then we would have helped them. But instead it was just excuse after excuse, and we know nothing. It was infuriating, and I got up and I walked out.
You've been in the service, right?
Yeah, I was an attack helicopter pilot, Apache helicopter pilot in the Army, and I helped stand up the initial unmanned aircraft training battalion in the aviation sector of the Army. So I know a little bit about what I'm talking about, and these guys are not doing the job they need to do to figure out what's going on, and that is the Department of Homeland Security, the FBI, and the state police.
And they're saying no threat to Americans.
They're saying no threat, but how the hell do they know? They don't know anything. They don't know what it is. They don't know where it come from. They don't know nothing. When I walked in here today, I was actually pretty calm. I was excited to be here to find out a couple things. I thought they'd be like, hey, listen, it's FedEx, trying to figure it out. But instead, I got the most ridiculous amateur hour briefing I've ever sat through.
Wow, that's truly upsetting.
Yeah.
Now, here's another clip. This is Congressman Chris Smith talking about the New Jersey drones at a hearing and how he was with a sheriff and he saw these drones too. Wait to hear his story.
I was on the beach in Island State Park in Ocean County with the sheriff. He has been working it every single night. He's got his own tethered drones chronicling. One of his officers 2 nights ago saw 50 drones come in off the ocean right there. So we thought maybe they'll replicate it. They didn't, but we thought it was a possibility. Then last night we had a number of other people there, including a commanding officer from the Coast Guard, who said that one of their 47-foot motor lifeboats was followed by between 12 and 30 of these drones as they went through the water. Followed right behind them.
All right. Now we're going to take a look at some recent UFO videos. And I'm going to group them into types. Look at several examples. I'll explain the type. And then I'm going to put it all together to try to get an explanation to you about what exactly is going on here. So let's move on to those right now. All right, this particular video was recorded by a Fox News helicopter. It was broadcast live. They didn't mean to broadcast it, but they were broadcasting live in the morning, and they're talking, and some people happen to notice this light flying around and say, hey, what's that? So I took this and analyzed it. If you want, you can take a look. I already have a video where I analyzed this particular UFO. Now, why this is important, why I'm showing you this, is because I want to show you that this is a particular type of UFO that is not a drone. It is most definitely not a drone, and these have been seen too in considerable amount. People have seen these all over the place. And I'm going to show you some examples of this. Well, I want you to be able to make that differentiation between these and the drones that the media is showing. And I want to explain that I think that it may be that the drones that you see are a response to these, or something similar to these. My own personal opinion on these is that these are actually alive beings, what you are seeing right now. And if you watch this whole video, by the end of the video, you understand why I say that. But I think these are plasma beings that we're looking at right now. It's an alive being. It definitely seems to have an intelligent, controlled motivation behind its movements. If not intelligent, at least biological. That's the way it seems to me. And we're going to take a look now at a couple other recent videos of things like this so that we can get a general sense of what they look like, how they behave, and show that they are definitely being seen almost as much as these New Jersey drones that they have been reporting on in the media. All right, now here we have, just like the last one, we had the same type of orbs creating a crop circle, but this was 30 years ago. All right, here's another example of an orb. This is from Mr. BBB. He does a lot of UFO analysis. Another orb. See how it's changing color? Now, all of these that I'm giving you are recent examples, so I want to show you that it's not just drones. All right, and here he goes close up and close up on those. Wow.
Thumbs up.
All right, here's another one. Dozens of them. Different colors. Just like we saw in changing color before, in the daytime.
Not just in America.
Close up.
I want to let the world on alert right now. I'm sure you're watching from around the world, and let us know where you're watching right now in the comments. We're broadcasting live from Hawaii. Good to be with you.
All right, now here we have is, this was provided by Third Phase of the Moon. It's a great UFO channel. This was captured in New Jersey, according to them. It seems to be some type of drone technology. It looks a little bit different, and you can see underneath some type of light. And it looks like it's some type of propulsion or energy source view, which it is enabled the possibility of flight. You know, it looks like that's some type of propulsion or energy source for this craft that's flying around. Now, why that's important? Well, I think that one of the keys to this is plasma. I think that's the future. That's a science future. Really do. I've done a couple of videos on my channel about plasma, and there's a reason for that. It is the future. And I think that is a plasma technology that you're looking at underneath that craft. That's what keeps the craft alight, aloft, excuse me. Now, why I point this out after I've shown you all those light being things, I think those are light beings. What I've shown you flying around those orbs, in that case, in those cases that I showed you previous now, I think those are light beings, and I think they're plasma-based light beings. Now, it was important for me to make that distinction where those are plasma light beings, but this isn't a plasma light being. This is a plasma craft. Okay. Now we're going to move on because I want to make that distinction between plasma light-being spheres and other spheres that we're seeing. Let's move on now. All right. Next 3 clips I'm going to show are from 2 different YouTube channels. One YouTube channel is called Casper Sight. He does great analysis of different strange phenomena, and that's 2 clips are going to come from him. And then we have Third Phase of the Moon. Every night they do a UFO. They have a nightly roundup of all UFOs of the day that they've been able to find. It's a great site. Once again, I strongly suggest you take a look at both sites if you're interested. Once again, Casper's site is one, and Third Phase of the Moon is the other one. We're going to take a look at those clips right now, because what these are all are the metallic spheres. These aren't like the ones I just showed you, where they're like, looks like they're made of light or plasma, and I think they're living beings. These are metallic spheres, and they're very clearly crafted. They are not alive to my perception. Let me know what you think. Let's see.
Original here. Can you see this original thing here, right? This thing is hovering. And it's hovering about what? From that, like 4 or 5 inches, maybe 3 inches? I'm not too sure. It's hard to tell with that shadow. But that's the original. And then this is upscaled once. So you can see how it's crisped it up, right? So it's done a half decent job. What I've noticed here, this doesn't seem like it's a complete sphere. It's got some sort of grid on it, right? Which you can see here. These things are sticking out. I thought this was I'm actually seeing this in real time now that I'm looking properly. I thought this was actually a perfect sphere, but it's not, clearly. Upscaled 2, which seems to be worse than upscaled 1, to be honest with you. And then upscaled 3, for me, upscale 1 seems a lot better to see. And then shadow direction seems consistent. Okay, so this is obviously somebody that's really looked into this and broke it down. So, I mean, it's not hard to see that the shadows seem consistent, but I get you. You know, you got your shadow here as well. Shadow direction seems consistent. Yeah, okay. The blue discoloration around top part. Glow under object still casts a shadow. There's a glow? Oh, there is a glow. There is a glow. What? Mate. Airport lane indicator panel, height approximately 2.8 meters, 9 foot. Right? Distance, object, not car size, around 1.1 meter. 1 times 1 meter. So, yeah, meter. So this thing's a meter, right? That's about a meter. Now, I don't know what these specific planes are used for. Are they just used for scoping things out? I know this back end opens up and people could just jump off the back and stuff, you know? But this looks like it's something to do with surveillance. If it's been circling around 3 times around the same area.
Dude, the black helicopters keep flying over here too. Did they fly over our house last time?
See, this seems like a legit video because he wasn't looking for a UFO. Here we go. Look at that. Is that the same sphere that was spotted in the Manchester airport? Is the Manchester airport a fake? The speculation going around there is a fake. Good edit, mate. Good edit. Look at that.
Could be worrisome. Now, more videos. Right, the metallic orb once again at another airport, this time in Pulkovo, St. Petersburg, earlier in late October, actually, not too long ago. And what's insane is the metallic orb also in the eyes of millions across the world right now. Something is.
Someone called the cops on these lights. See, even the police, they're going crazy.
That's the Pacific Ocean right there. I think this is Washington.
Oh my god, now cars they're starting to notice. Here comes another. Oh, fire truck.
All right, here's a great one from Casper's site. Watch, this one is going to tilt, which to me may show control of gravity. We'll probably talk about that towards the end. Let's watch this.
They're so bright and so vivid. I mean, look at the street lights. Look at these big lights down here in comparison. It's absolutely the energy to produce that much light is just remarkable. The size of it. Look at the size of it a minute. In comparison to these, I mean, obviously we can't really get much of a depth here, but who's just going to do that? Who's just going to fly some drones up there? Right? They're not even claiming the fame, these people. Look at it just shift like that. What is this all about? What was that? Hang on a second. What the hell was that? Curves and... Tell me in the comments what you think. But look at the shift. Or maybe, okay, they were seagulls. That's odd. Now, is it a bunch of planes doing some sort of exhibition? I don't think so. Look at this. Look at this thing, man. I don't. Surely, we would know by now if this was the case, right? They're not doing any like flares behind them, colorful flares. Not doing any sort of extreme acrobatics. Look at this, man. They're perfect diamond formation. That they're tilting now. Oh, it's separated. One's fell behind. Oh, wow. So this is a different angle, and just one's just fallen behind. Something's going on.
All right, this next one is Japan. And I'm showing this because I want to show the diversity of UFO phenomena that exists. Because this is really bizarre. The Itan Momon is a Japanese myth about this like fabric-like thing that flies around and attacks people, is my understanding of it. I will, if I can, I'll find up a little blurb on Itan Momon that describes what it is, and I'll throw that screenshot up so you can read it yourself. But this is bizarre. Watch this. It's about 2 minutes long, I think this video is. It's from Japanese. It's from Japan. It is in Japanese. No closed caption. But watch. What's weird is watch the aerodynamics of it. It doesn't seem like it's responding to the air. It seems like it has its own movement. Watch. How could it make that shape in air from the airflow? It just doesn't make sense.
どこに行くでもなく、ずっとその付近をゆらゆら、漂っているような感じだったので、みんなでは一旦もめんだなっていう話は、してたところだったんですけど、多分何十メーターかはあるんじゃないかな。上がったり、下がったり、ふにゃふにゃっていう感じでですね、身体操の選手が持ってるそのリボンみたいな、あんなものを操作されてるような動きだったので、周りもみんなあれ、生きてるって。
Yeah, this is from 2011. This is years earlier than this one, as opposed to the previous one they were just showing, and they'll show them side by side. Yeah, there they are. See, 2020.
今回目撃されたものについて警察や消防などに連絡はなく正体は不明。撮影した人によると謎の物体は
Alright, so we just saw what looks like a video recording of a folklore Japanese character, the Itan Momon. Here's a definition of an Itan Momon. We're going to take a look at this. Itan Momon is a Japanese yokai, a supernatural creature from folklore that appears as a long, narrow sheet of cloth, often described as a bolt of cotton, which can fly through the air and is said to attack people by wrapping itself around their head and neck, essentially suffocating them. The name translates to 1 tan of cotton, referring to a specific unit of cloth measurement in Japan. So that was why that was so significant in Japan. Now, you don't see that in the United States, you don't see that in Russia, but you see that in Japan. Why? UFOs have had a tendency to appear in a culturally significant manner. Here in Japan, it's appearing as an Itan Momon. You know, somewhere else it might appear as a Santa Claus. Somewhere else it appears as a dragon in China. So there does tend to be this pattern of UFOs appearing in a culturally appropriate way. Okay, and that's going to be important in our final analysis and why I wanted to bring that up. Alright, these next ones are all very specific to New Jersey, and I'm just going to let them play one after the other. Every single one of these is recent and New Jersey and the typical drone that they've been reporting in the media, except for the last two. And that's really weird. I just wanted to add it because it's so bizarre.
Look, hold on, let me stop walking. What's that? That's a plane? Why it ain't moving? Then what's this little homie back here? That's a plane? Why it ain't moving? Look at that, it got 4 lights on it.
Okay, here we go. More breaking news. New Jersey, another eyewitness capturing these mysterious drones over the cities across the United States, across the world, basically. But right now, the hotspot in the past 5 hours, we've been keeping a close track on the activity, is in New Jersey. So tonight, everybody, keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes open 24/7. Just New Jersey's the hot spot.
Look, hold on, let me stop walking.
With the mysterious drones, Tom.
Right, Allie. Well, not to go all Scully and Mulder on us here.
Do it.
Law enforcement is concerned about this. They have put out a statement to the local sheriff's office and local prosecutor's office in Morris County. So Morris County, New Jersey, pretty much the kind of the center of where this activity has been occurring, along with Somerset County. So they're about an hour-ish west of here. They'll throw things at your screen. I know that it could be double that amount of time due to traffic, but just to give the folks a sense of where we are, we're referring to
Look at this thing.
New York City. As far as the size of them, multiple eyewitnesses have reported it.
What's strange is this here. It's not like your stereotypical plane lighting, right? Yeah, you have like lights on the end of a plane and at the back, yeah? But this thing at the front, it's just weird.
Obviously, we've seen the video here. You just pointed it out. The size of these,
it's like the
not.
It's like the sword in Halo.
Quite clear to law enforcement that they
look at that.
They are car-sized at this point, but they do not appear to be kind of the homemade type that would fit on a desk. Whether or not they're the kind that would fit in a garage, well, that's going to be a bigger question. They really want the evidence here, Howie. They want to be able to get their hands on this or know where they are flying from in an effort to...
They're just all over the...
Right, the drones are lighting up. This is new footage just obtained just moments ago of what looks to be something that has been flying over New Jersey, New York, Los Angeles, across the United States, Washington, D.C. But right now, again, we've got the breaking news coming in, but we wanted to go over this new video coming right here at Third Phase. Yeah, this is crazy, fluid news as it comes in. We just got this update of a crashed UAP UFO just into New Jersey. Now we're seeing this kind of vector-shaped craft flying as it flies over the family, and you can hear him go, whoa, and this is crazy. This does not look... You're in the right place if you want to see the most up-to-date UFO news around the planet. And we're looking at something that has us baffled. Again, we're thinking this is captured in New Jersey, but this isn't looking like any of the other drones that we've been seeing. Oh, what is this? This thing's incredible. What's keeping this up in the sky? We have no clue. Yet we brought up the suggestion, according to police eyewitnesses, that these things are entering and exiting off the coast of New Jersey. And what we're looking at here is basically undescribable. Basically, it's just hard to state words when you're looking at something that you've never seen before. And I think we're looking at something that is extreme.
All right, now that we've set the stage, this is where I really want to get into what these things are. So we're going to take a look at this. And it's all about sound now. Watch.
And I've got a real good close-up one as well. Look at this close-up, mate. And listen to it. Listen to that, listen. Everything about that screams man-made. Right? Everything about that screams man-made, apart from the stories about it, the backstory about it, what we're not doing about it.
All right. So now you heard that sound. It sounded like a bee's droning, right? That's where I really started to say, oh my God, this confirms it for me. To me, this confirms what I suspect we're looking at. And it is a plasma technology. What plasma technology? It's something called plasmoids. It's where they take plasma and they essentially process the plasma to create what are called plasmoids. And then these plasmoids have the potential to essentially, they're on that borderline between life, and they behave in manners that this particular gentleman, I'm going to link to you, I believe his name is Jordan, he's got a YouTube channel. He likens them to bees. These plasmoids come bees. And I was like, oh my God, that's why this drone has that bee sound. That's why he's likening it to bees, because they sometimes make this sound too. These are plasmoid. This is a plasmoid technology. So I'll let him talk. Watch. And this is on, he was on Randall Carlson's TV show. We're going to get in deep into this now. And we're going to elaborate and get really understanding about what this plasma technology is and how it relates to all this stuff. Watch.
Self-employed Cosmo.
Oh, wrong one. I'll just take that out. All right, and go here and boom. Hopefully, right there.
Self-employed Cosmo.
Yeah, like the Russian or the the UFO research. There's a lot of reportings of these ball lightning entities, and these are just larger charge clusters. Because a charge cluster is another way to refer to this, where we've just got a lot of these smaller structures coming together to create a larger structure, and then they become quite independent. And there's even stories of them pulling a train along, and there's a lot of reportings of them doing quite conscious and strange things. These little structures, I kind of compare them to working like bees. It's like when you've got a hive of bees, they all automatically kind of know what to do, and they'll work to keep that hive in homeostasis. So if it gets too warm, you'll get some of the bees flying to the front. They'll flap their wings, they'll cool it down. And the plasmoids kind of like to do that, where they don't like things to get too turbulent or too hot or too cold. They're going to keep equilibrium in the system. And yeah, so they're conscious, essentially, as our whole world is. Exactly like the old alchemists used to say, is that everything is conscious, and it is. Even what we call space around us, filled with consciousness, filled with living entities.
All right, I wanted to bring this up just to give you a definition of plasmoids. This is according to ChatGPT, Google AI. Let me change this a little. Get a little bigger so I can read it a little better. All right, plasmoid power is a method of electrical propulsion that uses plasmoids to create thrust. What are plasmoids? Plasmoids are structures made of plasma and magnetic fields. They can be created in a lab in the form of spheromax, field reversed configurations, or in dense plasma focuses. How does plasmoid power work? Plasmoids are formed and then allowed to expand down a diverging conducting shell. The plasmoid's toroidal electric current provides heating and a confining magnetic field. As the plasma expands, the inductive and thermal energy are converted into kinetic energy, which produces thrust. I'll throw this up. I'll throw up the screenshot after this so you can read the whole thing if you'd like. But so it's this new form of energy. And if we can get a form of energy that's relatively easy to create and abundant, it changes the entire world in ways you cannot even begin to fathom. Our entire civilization is dependent on access to energy. Without it, we're literally back to living in caves. And that's that's a huge reason why we fight wars and we have wars. It's all over and access to energy and cheap energy. This can change the world because this can make that completely irrelevant, where anybody can easily create this technology and share it with the world, and people don't have to starve, don't have to go hungry, don't have to go thirsty, don't have to suffer from disease at the scales that we currently now see. All right, so now we gotta say, all right, what is this? What are we looking at here? So I'm going to go through essentially the most prosaic, the most basic explanation of what this could possibly be. And I'm going to get a little crazier and crazier with each one of these possible explanations. And then I'm going to end it with what I think. Because these are all possible explanations. Doesn't necessarily tell you what I'm going to think. I'm going to tell you what I think at the end of this. So, first of all, you have to ask, is it human or alien? I'm assuming it's almost certainly human, but whether human or alien, in my explanation, it's not going to matter who it is. It's going to matter what it's showing us. But we'll obviously go with the most prosaic explanations as human. So assuming it's human, we could possibly entertain the idea that the drones are a response to being on the verge of nuclear war. I don't watch the mainstream news media too much in the United States, so I don't know how much the public knows, but we are this close to nuclear war. I mean, it could break out at any moment. The fact that we have, the United States and NATO have directed attacks, strikes deep in the heart of Russia. Russia has nuclear weapons. I mean, we have them on the brink of using nuclear weapons against either Europe or even potentially against the United States, which Putin has hinted he would do. And now at this point, we have orbs swarming military installations. The military has developed a limited response to dissuade the orbs from being able to swarm military bases, perhaps. Perhaps these drones are the military response. But they're not telling you. They don't want to tell you because they don't want you to know they have this technology. I don't think that's the case. Unless it's something really, really deep that comes out of, something like Area 51. And that would be why they wouldn't tell our standard politicians, why the governor doesn't know, or assemblymen or senators don't know. Because they don't even know what's going on in Area 51 and the technology that's coming around from there. I don't think that's the case, though. There's a YouTube channel called Redacted. It's a great YouTube channel. I highly suggest you take a look at it. They had a segment about a post and this internet post kept getting removed from Facebook and Reddit. It claimed to be from a military man who said that the drones are military and were activated as a result of a dirty bomb or radiation release or some type of biological attack in the area. And he alleged that military families are familiar with this fact and have left New Jersey. Again, I don't think that's the case. I really believe that they don't know what this is. Now, and if that was the case, that could explain, the governor, if he was told, yeah, this is, we got a biological attack. He's not going to tell everybody. Everybody will freak out, have the highways be packed with people trying to get out of New Jersey. They would want to keep the public calm. Again, I don't think that's what this is, though. I think there's abundance of evidence that's not what this is. So what's next? If that's not correct, I think it could be Russia. It's been speculated that it's China and only China would have this technology. Nonsense. Russia could potentially have this technology too. I don't think the Chinese would be doing something like this at this juncture. Anyway, I think they have no motivation. The Russians do have a motivation. As a matter of fact, once I came to the realization that if not our own military, then it was the Russians, I decided to do a small amount of research to confirm my suspicions. Our news media has been very forthcoming about the details of the war in Ukraine, and that lies the Russian motivation with our assistance to Ukraine. The United States has been assisting Ukraine, striking deep into Russia, as I stated earlier. And the first Russian response was to strike at a weapon production facility in Ukraine with the Russians' Oreshnik missile. Devastating hypersonic missile. The Russians then threatened to attack other nations in a like manner. But I wonder if this is actually a way to checkmate the United States without having to fire a missile into the United States and precipitate a nuclear war. Do they have this drone technology? Is this Russians? They can come right at the heart of the United States and they're showing their power in order to avoid a nuclear confrontation? Could be. Again, I don't think that's the case. I think there's abundance of evidence that that is not the case, but it certainly is possible. Another potential answer is that this is a military psychological operation. Now, let me fix this, sorry. Now, a military psychological operation would be meant to manipulate the American public. There's certainly a growing trepidation or fear spreading regarding these unknown objects flying around New Jersey and now apparently elsewhere in the United States, mostly near military bases. Fear is one of the most effective means of controlling a population. Famed UFO researcher Stephen Greer has long warned he's long warned that the hidden government of the United States will one day fake an alien invasion as a means of deceiving the American public into relinquishing their civil rights and agreeing to essentially a dictatorship. The lack of information from the United States government on this issue certainly has increased the fear level of the public. This could be a psychological operation. I don't doubt it. Again, I don't think that's the answer, though. Another possibility is, could this be a reaction to the election of Donald Trump? Is this the beginning of a deep state operation to prevent Donald Trump from taking office? And they will be instead able to operate as a bureaucratic dictatorship. I still find it hard to believe that the powers be will allow Donald Trump to take office. Once again, and have wondered what mischief they will attempt in order to prevent him from taking office. Is this it? Could be. It becomes a little bit more believable, actually, as I get a little crazier. Another potential answer, maybe it's a galactic federation. Maybe there's some galactic federation out there. I have had some surprises with my research into the subject matter of the Galactic Federation in the past. Some people have hypothesized that Donald Trump is being aided by a galactic federation that wants to enlighten humanity and bring us into the Galactic Brotherhood. Perhaps they are aware of the nefarious plans of the deep state, and they plan on making certain Donald Trump is brought to power and humanity is granted its place side by side with our peers in the galactic community. It's pretty crazy, I know, but I've done some videos in the past that really surprised me. In one, there was what looked like a giant human, like 9 feet tall, and people speculated it was somebody from another planet or from the Galactic Federation. I did the analysis, and it looked like it really was a giant person. There are no 9, 10 feet tall humans. So it was bizarre. And this photograph that I analyzed was on the White House Twitter account. So, regardless, let's move on. Earlier, I showed a video where I showed that Itan Momon from Japan. I mentioned this before, and I'll say it again. UFOs have a pattern of showing themselves in culturally acceptable forms to the human observers. UFO researcher Jacques Vallée, he's done some great research. I'd suggest you look for some of his books. He's got a lot of great books on the subject of UFOs. Now, Jacques Vallée has done some great work, and this potential has been mentioned in his books. Some have even suggested that the UFO or the UAP phenomenon has consistently displayed technological advantages to humanity throughout history that inspired human innovation. I've already showed how these drones appear to be using perhaps plasmoid technology. Perhaps they really are UFOs flying around trying to show us this technology of our near future. Finally, could it just be aliens waiting to take over? Notice how the lack of government's lack of information and behavior on this subject has left this as a wide open potential and something that cannot be easily dismissed. Here's my take, and this is my final answer, what I think it is. If I had to lay down money, and based on all the available information, I think that there's a long history of metallic spheres or spheres of some type. I don't know whether it's those living being types or the metallic spheres. The government has been very, very, has hidden a lot of this information. I think it's metallic spheres, though, of them coming to military bases, particularly military bases with nuclear missiles, and turning off those nuclear missiles. These spheres fly in, boom, they show up, everybody's like, what the hell's going on? And boom, all the nuclear missiles go off. Completely turned off. Are they responding to us being on the edge of nuclear war? I think that initially happened, and then these drones showing up are showing us a technology, just as they have in the past. And it's this plasma technology. And that by utilizing this plasma technology, we can create a new world for ourselves. I hope that's the answer. It would be a good answer. Matter of fact, before I end this, I mentioned future forecasters. It's Dick Algeier has it's his remote viewing YouTube channel, and he actually came up with that answer as well tonight as I was recording this. And I had already written my answer a couple days ago, so it's good to see that great minds think alike. If you want to take a look at that, it was Thursday, December 12th. Future Forecasters is their YouTube channel. He posted that speculation on Thursday, December 12th, just about an hour before I recorded this. But I'm reading from notes, and I wrote these notes 2 days ago. So that's all. Everybody, thanks for watching. Like I said, let me know what you think. I want to hear what everybody else thinks, and like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. I'm going to try to do, as always, I have several videos. This one took over a week to create, and for various issues, including very, very old, poor cheap technology that I have. It makes this very difficult. So if you want to help me out too, Bitcoin's down below, PayPal down below. But I'm going to be doing, hopefully, a video on plasmoids, and I'm also going to be doing a video that I've been planning for months on the moon as well. It's going to be very interesting. So everybody, thanks for watching.